Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's look is going to be on how to accomplish getting hydrated looking skin even if you have dry textured skin. In my last video you could see that my texture on my cheeks was so bad, and I knew that it was, but I didn't realize like how bad it was until I saw that footage. But it's okay, we will take that and we will learn from it and we will grow and we will move on. So today I really wanted to focus on a lot of liquid products, cutting as much powder out of my routine as possible and making sure that we get a lot of moisture into our skin, or at least the illusion of very moisturized skin even if it's not. And I also have a couple of breakouts and I'm going to show you how I like to conceal those. Thank you for coming back to my channel and watching this video. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so I went ahead and I did my brows off camera. I'm going to go in with the Tarte water cream. And so I'm just going to really put that all over my face, but I'm definitely going to make sure I concentrate on the areas where I have the most dry skin, which is right in here. I have a severe gluten intolerance, and ever since I found out in September that I have this and I've been gluten-free, I feel like my skin has really dried out. I used to have really oily skin and now it's just really dry, especially right in this area. And I don't know if it's because I quit eating gluten, but that's kind of what I think. And if I do eat gluten, it kind of makes my face puffy, among other things. And then it also will break me out, usually like in this area. So I have a breakout like right here. I'm going to show you like what I do to conceal those breakouts too. The next thing I'm going to go in with is the Farsali Unicorn Essence. I mean, the most important thing for me is to make sure that my face is really hydrated and it has like a really good base for my foundation to go on. The next thing I'm going to go in with is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. So I'm just going to focus this today like right in this area on my nose and a little bit up here in my T-zone. I'm going to put a little bit here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the Dior Forever foundation. And the reason that I do like one half of my face at a time is because this Dior foundation, it is my favorite, but it also dries really fast. And I like to go ahead and spread it around with a brush so that I can blend it out a little bit better. And for this, I'm going to take my actual like Beautyblender brand Beauty Blender because I like the rounded edge. My Morphe one has like this sharp edge and I don't like it as much to blend out foundation. But I'm not using my Clarasonic today because I really want the moisture from the Beauty Blender to help moisturize my skin. And I'm just going to lightly pounce that all over my skin. And I want to be really careful in this area because you can see that there is texture there. And I'm going to make sure I get really good like where that blemish is. I'm going to go ahead and do the other half of my face. Now I want to make sure that I get under my eyes is pretty good because I don't want to bring the concealer down any farther than I have to, because I don't want to have to set my under eyes with any more powder than what I have to. Since I do have a couple of breakouts, what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of concealer, but I don't want to cake this on. I'm just going to put like a little dot, and I'm going to take the pointy end of my beauty blender and I'm just gonna try to blend it out, but I'm gonna press on the actual blemish just a little bit, but I'm gonna take the tip of that beauty blender and I'm gonna feather out and blend out the actual concealer so it doesn't look like just one little bright spot that is on my face, because we don't want to draw any attention to it at all. So I'm just gonna tap it. And then I'm gonna blend the edges. So, and the concealer is a little bit light for me, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with like the tiniest amount of the foundation again, and I'm just gonna barely press it in and cover that back up, and I'm gonna blend it out just like I did the concealer. The key is to use as little amount of product as you can. I want to contour my face because I need to look like I actually have cheeks here. Not blown out cheeks, but more cheeks. So I'm going to go into the Anastasia cream contour palette. I'm going to mix these two just a little bit and I'm going to carve it out. I like to start up here and get most of the contour up here, and I like to bring it down. I don't like to bring mine all the way down. I like to stop about like right here, like about the point, the high point of my brows. That's where I like to stop my contour. So I'm just gonna bring it down to there. And I'm gonna do some up here around my forehead. I feel like I have like a pretty big forehead, so I like to really contour that and try to make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm also gonna do just a little bit down here because I want to look like I actually have a jaw and not a double chin. I have not found anything, not a beauty blender or anything that really blends out my contour like the Clarasonic foundation attachment. It is just the best. It blends it out seamlessly and it blends it out really quick too. I just want to make sure that I keep my brush down low so that the bristles are not touching my cheeks where the texture and the dry skin is. I told you, I just can't live without this Clarasonic brush. It comes in handy for so many things, and my husband got me this for Christmas, and he did really good. I like to make sure it goes up into my hairline so that it blends in and looks as natural as possible. So I am going to set that bronzer with a little bit of powder, and I'm going to use the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm going to mix these first two shades, and I'm just going to lightly press it on there just to set that a little bit, just a little bit around the edges. Now I do want to carve my jawline out a little bit, so what I'm going to do though is I'm just going to dip the very ends in I'm gonna dust it off as much as I can because I just need like a really faint line to carve out right underneath and then to blend out so that it makes my contour look a little bit more sharp, but we aren't caking a bunch of powder on. So a nice sharp line with very little powder on it, and we're only going to blend it down like that much. And then I'll take my sponge and just really press that powder into my skin so that it doesn't look like a powder. The one place that I do still get oily is like right here in the center of my forehead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Charlotte Tilbury in shade 1, and I am just going to take a little bit on my beauty blender and I'm just going to press it right into the center where I get oily. And I just want to make sure I keep it hydrated though. I don't want it to look like a bunch of powder on the middle of my forehead. And I'll put like a little bit right here, but that's it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I want to use highlighter. I cannot live without highlighter, so I'm going to use a liquid highlighter. This is the only one that I have. It's by Temptu and it came in a Boxycharm, so you can see that's what it looks like. I'll see if I can find a link where you could purchase this if you wanted to. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this right on the end of my beauty blender like so, and I'm gonna try not to go down too low. I just want to get a little bit of it up here because we don't want to highlight any texture that we have, and I don't know how this is gonna go with my foundation, but I guess we will find out. It's not bad. It's going on really nice. It's giving me a nice glow that still looks hydrating and moisturized. I'm gonna squeeze my beauty blender together and I'm just gonna put a little bit on the center of my face. Didn't mean to take it up there. A little bit on my cupid's bow and a little bit on my chin. I stayed in frame this time, y'all. I still need to conceal my under eyes though, so I'm gonna try to use as little product as I can. So I'm gonna put 3 very small dots that has very little product on it, and that was the Tarte, and I like to mix that and the Urban Decay to get a perfect shade. Last time I only used the Tarte and you could tell that my under eyes were wider than what I prefer. I'm going to take this little mini beauty blender and I'm going to be very careful about only keeping it right under my eye. And I'm going to bring it in the corner a little bit right here, but we don't want it to touch any of this right here. Like, I would just like put this barrier up, and I don't want it to go anywhere below that. I'm gonna go in with the RCMA No Color translucent powder, and I'm gonna take like the tiniest amount on my beauty blender. Like, you can see, I don't know how it shows up on camera, but it's a very, very like light amount, And I'm only going to press that right underneath my lash line. So to finish up this look, I want to do like a daytime natural eyeshadow look, something that's super easy. So what I'm going to use today is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that on my finger, and I'm just going to press it into my skin. And I want to use just a little bit of the RCMA no color powder. I'm gonna just dip my brush down a little bit, and I'm gonna dust off every bit of the excess I can, and I'm just gonna lightly press it in. It's just gonna help me to blend my eyeshadow out. I'm not gonna use a lot of eyeshadow today, but still. I'm gonna use the Jaclyn Hill palette today. I'm gonna start off with just this more natural shade right here, and I'm just gonna start blending it into my eye. And I want to start on the outer edge, and I want to blend it very softly, and I'm gonna go in my homemade crease, that's what I like to call it, and I just want the lightest amount in the inner corner. I want most of the product to be out here because we are going for a very daytime, very natural look. And so I'm just going to take that same shade on the Morphe R41, and I'm just gonna very lightly put it underneath my lash line to just kind of bring it all together. But I'm gonna focus most of the product on the outer corner of my eye. So today I'm just gonna use a little bit of the Urban Decay Perversion mascara. One of the last things I'm gonna do to finish off this look is I'm gonna do a gloss so that we stick with the luminous moisturized look, and I want my lips to be the same exact way. So I'm going to use the Kylie Cosmetics lip gloss in the shade Koko, and I'm just going to use a lip brush to apply this because this is what my wand looks like. It just, I don't know if you can see that, it kind of like, I got one of the crappy ones and I'm not happy about it, but I love the gloss, so this is what I like to do to make sure that my skin looks luminous and moisturized, even when it's not, even when I have texture, even when I have dry skin on my cheeks or a breakout on my face when I eat gluten. Like, this is what I like to do to make sure that my skin still looks as perfect as it can even when it's not. So this is also what I like to do for like a daytime glam if I'm like in a rush and I need something like really simple, really easy, get me out the door but still look presentable, especially when I go to work, especially for dry skin. So thank you guys for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe down below, and don't forget to like this video, and thank you so much.